Awesome too. That always kind of pumps up the crowd a little bit more, gets the energy going, brings more people to it, and gathers attention. We're gonna go to Chase Bank first. Go there for a little bit. Hopefully, maybe we can get them to lock their doors again like last time. Then from there, we're gonna go to Wells Fargo. If we have enough people, we're gonna try to have people at Wells Fargo and Bank of America. That way we can take both sides of the street at the same time, try to close down both banks at the same time. If not, we're going to go from Wells Fargo, then to Bank of America. Then from there, we're going to march back here. We should be back here around 5 o'clock or so. So that way we're back in time for committee meetings, all that. People can take a breather and hang out before GA. But yeah, the other thing, who was it? Johnny actually kind of brought up a really cool outreach idea. Is if you have a Facebook page, put your thing to in a relationship with whatever bank you have or you don't like, and then change it like a minute later to, basically you just broke up. And then when people start asking you, because people are going to respond to it or at least look at it, you can put a comment underneath it to the event page for breakup with your bank. That way they kind of get the idea. And then if they start asking like, oh, I'm so sorry, what happened? You can tell them like, oh, Bank of America screwed me. Just kept taking all my money. I kept giving her money. Wasn't enough. Then she took my house and then charged me for it. You can kind of do a play on words, make it kind of funny, but it's going towards whatever bank you're talking about. So we thought that would be a cool little quick outreach thing, considering it's the day after tomorrow. But yeah, that's it. I yield.
Yeah, this is for finance. And it's kind of sad, actually. We're losing our representative. Pat's not going to be working for ASD anymore, nor will he be an Occupy San Diego occupier. So we're going to probably end up with someone we don't know, and that may be good or bad. I don't know yet. Go ahead.
Point of information regarding Pat. I spoke to him an awful lot today.
Yeah.
It's what we really the announcement that I would make. Not that it would be any different than information, but it's important that as many people from the Occupy San Diego community attend the finance meeting on Monday. It's a very real possibility that we may, as a group, decide that we no longer can have ASD as our fiscal sponsor. There are a lot of questions that need to be answered. I don't have a lot of information, but I got a lot of questions. And I'm sure you all have a lot of questions. So we need as many people to show up to that meeting as possible on Monday. The finance meeting is at 4 o'clock. So we hope you all are there. Bring your questions because it's a very real possibility that we may lose our 501c3. We may want to close that account, and then we got to figure out what we're going to do. One recommendation that I'm sort of in favor of is electing Pat as our treasurer until we figure out what we're going to do. We definitely should have another 501c3, another disinterested third party to handle the finances and be transparent and make an accounting. That has worked well for us for a number of months. And it's unfortunate that ASD may no longer be able to fulfill that role without a conflict of interest, especially when it comes to our non-affiliation with political parties, which seems to be sort of the crux of the problem. So that's that announcement.
Can you just explain to me what happened? Because I seen going through this like pretty much two different ways in the past like 2 weeks. One where he was asking about that, if we wanted that or not, and now the second time, which was the other night on the other circle over here, with the whole John Kennedy thing. So like I understand what happened from those two issues, and 2 days later now.
Well, anything that I would say right now would be pure speculation. And so I'd much rather have people show up to that meeting and ask the questions of the actual principals.
What do you guys meet at?
ASD House on Whiteman and
Our finance committee meets there.
Yeah.
ASD House?
It's the name. Is it Whitman or Whiteman?
Whitman.
It's definitely Whitman.
Whiteman.
Wait, which one? White man or white man?
It doesn't matter. That's where it meets at.
They'd be confused. All right.
Yes, I got both of you.
Can we make a motion now for you guys not to make any decisions from the DA?
You can make any motions you want. That's up between you and the moderator.
Yeah, so we're definitely not doing that right now. We can wait though. We can do it during the when we get done with announcements. Mike.
Will there be rides provided for the ones who cannot make it there?
Question
already been answered. Thank you.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it piggybacks off that, but in the spirit of we might be getting rid of our fiscal sponsor, ASD, how about we have that finance meeting here?
Sounds pretty important. Yeah.
We certainly could. I'd really want Pat there, obviously, for obvious reasons, because he's been, an integral part of our finance. And anything that happens, what I think is important is that Pat is there, that someone from ASD is there, that we can ask those questions that we have, and ask the main question. Where's our money? How do we get it if we decide to dissolve this relationship? And then what? And then bring it back here to discuss what do we do next.
That's the question. But put to ASD, is somebody from there going to be at tomorrow's meeting?
Well, in talking with Pat, there is a possibility that could happen, or we might be able to, at a minimum, raise them on the phone to answer questions.
Pat doesn't know the answer how to get our money. Pat doesn't know the answer of how to get our money. He
Well,
works there.
Pat's been frozen out of the account,
Does he still work there?
as far as I know.
So Lisa, you had your hand up.
It was a point of information for the ride question. I know that considering Pat will definitely be at tomorrow's meeting, he provides rides at every meeting, and he meets at the Civic Center usually at 3:30 to pick those up. He has room for 4 people, but I will still call him in advance and double check on that. So if there's any way I can get to you before then, I will. And other people that have cars at the finance meeting, you're willing to speak up for yourself, but Pat does provide rides.
Great. So any other committee announcements?
I was just going to say the physical address is 4246 Whiteman.
4246 committee announcements.
I'm on the Fuck Yeah committee, and I just want to say everybody kicked major ass yesterday.
Fuck yeah.
Papa fucking loves it.
Any other committee announcements? Going once, going twice. Okay. So we don't really have anything on the agenda, but I know he had a motion from earlier.
Well,
Okay.
Does finance have the power to make the decisions themselves on how to have the money? Because if they don't, then they have to take the GA.
Is that a question?
Well, there would be no need to make a motion. Finance can make that decision.
Do you actually know what he's talking about?
So what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
you will go make a decision at the finance committee of what to do with the money. Go ahead.
Well, I've been there quite often, but if you want to answer it, you feel free.
I'm not sure. What was the question?
Okay, so go ahead and answer.
Let me state the question again.
Yeah,
Do you guys have the power in the finance committee to
The
make decisions on the money by yourselves, or do
The
you have to
fun-
take the GA?
the function of finance is to provide a vehicle for Occupy San Diego to have a full accounting of its money. Each individual committee can, or in fact, even individual people can come to finance, make a request to see how every penny is spent, or make a request for actual funds. That's all we do. We have no authority as to what to do with that money. Any person here or any committee here can come to finance, ask for a full accounting, get a full accounting, and make a request for funds.
Let me
That's all we do.
You suggest that everyone attend the finance committee so we can decide what to do with the money.
Yeah, because
So
now
what
that
I'm
we're not
saying
going to have a physical sponsor, we need to pull that out of the bank. And the question is going to be, do we hold it in cash? Do we give it to a treasurer? Do we put it in another 501(c)(3)? Do we put it in the question is, what do we do?
Okay, so I think the actual question here is, does the finance committee have the power to make that decision outside? No. Okay.
You mean the decision as to ASD?
Is that what the question?
So
you
the
were-
question is, whatever you guys talk about, you have to bring the GA.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And so essentially, he's asking for people to go there so that you are informed on the decision the GA is going to have to make.
The more people, the better.
Last question.
When and where? Tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Where? At the ASD house.
42, 46, Whiteman.
42, 46
Come on,
Whiteman.
man. Stay, keep up with the conversation here, man.
We already went over all
Keep
that.
up, yeah, keep up with
I
the
just
conversation.
got here for crying out loud.
Okay, so let's stop this before it gets started. So let's go ahead and do a temperature check on doing some breakout groups and crowd storming.
I got a question real quick, though.
Go ahead.
Do we have any account of all the walkie-talkies that we had a while ago and stuff like that? Because I know we had a couple of video recorders, handheld cameras. I know we had a gang, like 8 walkie-talkies or 5. I mean, where is all this
They
stuff?
also have a media card, right? Here.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Leslie, your hand was up.
I have point of information. The media card is at the ASD house with pretty much all the walkie-talkies and stuff. A lot of the stuff is probably disappeared, like some of the laptops and whatever else we've had over time. But pretty much, excuse me,
Mic check.
if you're gonna call bullshit, then at least explain it.
I didn't say bullshit.
Then what did you say?
Don't try to bullshit me. You say
Let's pass over it. Let Leslie.
I'll tell you later.
A lot of the stuff I'm not sure what has or hasn't disappeared. I know Fish still has a lot of the walkie-talkies in the media cart safe at the ASD house, but they usually stay away because they're not charged. It's really hard to charge it. There's really no need for them, so they just kind of stay away. But Fish always has his camera and stuff on him also, which was donated. A lot of that stuff was donated too, so.
We still do have. I just want to make sure that everything that we have had, that we used to have, that we still maintain, because there will be a future need for it. And, you know, it was donated
Well,
to
I'm sure
Occupy
if
San
we leave
Diego, so we need to
Activist
maintain
San
our property.
Diego, our stuff would be leaving the house also. So.
Okay. Are there any other questions on that topic?
I have an idea of how to maybe guide discussion groups. There's a huge lack of participation in committees. That's as simple as it comes down to.
Mic check.
There's a huge lack of participation in committees. It's the same old people doing the same old shit. And I think we seriously need to discuss how the hell to change that. And with that being said, I'm going to get up my soapbox for a second. There is not enough of us people for people to stay in their comfort zones. I'm honestly done caring what your skill sets are and what you feel comfortable doing. Get outside of the damn box and start doing. Because fitting in our little comfort zones isn't working. And people are getting taxed. And this has happened before, and it's why Food Committee originally died. Because the few that were running it felt ungodly unappreciated, and walked. You know, let's seriously get to work here.
May I throw a fact on that real quick?
Sure.
I was the only one at events meeting today. So yeah, we need people on the committees because I can't plan every single one of these events that you guys want to happen and do events in San Diego like you guys want also. You guys want weekly marches on the banks. Everybody tells me that we want these weekly events and activities. I can't plan that by myself on top of planning the Olympia trip, planning Washington, D.C., shut down the corpse, May 1st, March 1st, all these other large events that are going on also that you guys also want to take part in. I can't do everything by myself. So any help is appreciated, even if it's just tweeting something out on Twitter or putting something out on Facebook, doing some outreach, letting people know that this is happening. Maybe designing a flyer and putting them out in East County. That would save us some time because we're also having to do outreach also. There's nobody helping us with putting out flyers. We are doing everything, and considering this whole split and all the drama that has happened, a lot of people are leaving the committees because they're done with all the drama and they did get taxed. So please.
Really quickly, finance has also been doing some outreach, so we should probably like collaborate with that.
Question. Can we get a list of like all the active committees so people know?
There is a list of all the active committees on Occupied San Diego.
Not everybody can get online, so maybe we can get that list.
Okay. Maybe not interrupt next time. Point of information for a reason.
But we don't need a list of everything. We need a list of ones that need people and what they do.
We'll work
Point
on
of
one.
clarity.
Hold on.
Point of clarity, I'm on the media committee, and Tim has worked very, very hard to set us up a brand new website with everything on it. It lists the committees. If your committee is not there, all you have to do is go up to contact and put in please list food committee under groups. And I've done that twice, and they appeared there so fast I couldn't believe it. The site is www.sandiegooccupy.org. Occupy, OCCUPY.org. Okay? www.sandiegooccupy.org. And he really wants and needs people to come to that site, to put your stuff on that site, to transfer your stuff from whatever old sites you have going onto that site. He's working very hard on that.
Guys, one real quick thing. We really forgot about this yesterday. We have people who are allergic to cigarette smoke. And beyond that, we have people who just think it smells disgusting. So instead of getting to a point where people are going to want to force process all smokers to the outside and watch where your smoke's going. Like, no offense, Mike. Look at the cloud.
He'll not determine where the smoke's gonna go though.
Watch where
It's gonna go where the wind blows.
Perhaps this would be better served by doing this in a breakout session. but
Hey.
Thank you.
I think there needs to also be a discussion with committees in general of finding different ways, different means, different avenues in which to hold them and or conduct them. I know you work a lot with the Interrock, and they do a lot of that shit online, through conference calls and things of that nature. Maybe we can have, if events just as a thought,
Louder than the train.
perhaps if we could alternate, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is a physical meeting here, and Tuesday and Thursday is a conference call, because we know there are people out there that want to help, but they can't get down here. Or every other week, I can't be here. I just can't. I'm occupying my kid. Sorry, it's way more important than anything OSD right now. I want to be and am hugely involved in a lot of shit, but I think we've also got to find a way. If the committee process itself is not working for people, let's figure out a way to make it work for them. Come up with some out-of-the-box thinking on how to get this shit done so that more people can get involved.
Okay, so it sounds like we should break up into discussion groups and talk about how best to get others involved in committees to help grow our numbers, so that all the work doesn't fall onto the individuals who show up only here, or who only show up here, I guess I should say. So let's go ahead and do that now, and we'll do that for 15 minutes, and then let's just do this group here, and then this group here, and then 3 big groups. Starting now.
I want him.
Here's an idea.
Yes.
How about if
Hopefully
we
I'll
stop
have time
having
to
one-on-one
figure
conversations?
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, I don't.
Never mind. I've got to find as many ways as possible to get people involved.
So that
I mean,
I know they're old, but
saying
No,
that
that's
just
fine.
one
I mean,
meetings once
they're
or
not
meetings
gonna
even
try.
every day
Okay.
down at not here
Thank you.
just isn't working. There's too many people for whatever reason cannot regularly get down to.
Well, they're kind of impromptu. Like, I wanted to go this Saturday because you busy. You can go down to the college spot anytime, like while the sun is up.
I want to see people who are actually involved in it.
Melissa, Jason Brock, and his girlfriend.
It was long before.
I want to see you guys when you guys are.
Yeah, we did talk to them. We like made some radishes out of the ground.
I think we need to come up with creative ways of doing this. If that means, conference calls, like I was just saying to Leslie, or if it means maybe Monday or back, Monday were 12
who have contributed great time to this movement for a number of months who will not come back.
hell, let's figure out where people work and we'll have a committee meeting over their lunch hour.
In the public
And
eye,
if they
I
have to
think
roll out at lunch,
reason
okay,
why our
fine,
numbers
as long
are
as they've
down
gotten
is because
basic
the police
gist of
have
what
been
we're
shot.
talking about, and if we have a situation
The
where we
public
know
doesn't
that,
understand. Here in private, my family, we're the problem.
take part in that discussion.
This is the problem.
And we
We're
just gotta
not
be
staying on message,
really
and we're not giving people an alternative place to go. This has been nothing but exclusion for the last month and a half. All we talk about are the groups we don't want here. We don't want Tea Parties. We don't want Republicans. We don't want this. We don't want that. We don't want to be co-opted. And all of that is absolutely, positively against the primary focus of Occupy, which is we are the united.
It's mostly committees.
Sorry, I don't mean to jump in line.
Break it into.
Come back. What they plan. That's why I want to start to rank up like that. Because that's what a lot of people do. Especially with the fact that there's a scheduled weekly march. Because then people can actually plan, oh, hey, there's a march at 4 p.m. on Friday. So I can go out there and I can do this and I can plan around it. Or, if not, I know where they're going to be and they're going to be there at 4 so I can make it on my way home or whatever. So I've been trying to do that with events, but it's so hard. That's when it kind of comes back into this is I can't do all those weekly marches and everything, which I'm trying to start instituting again with the breakup with your bank. I'm trying to get us back on focus. And I'm hoping that this will kind of be it. And I planned this basically all by myself. So I'm hoping that this will work out. But that's why we need more people, just because more people, we get more ideas, we get more input, we come up with more stuff. I'm not sitting here pulling my hair out because I'm on conference calls and meetings and having to go here and here and here. Because I'm not just doing events also. Like I'm helping out with finance. I'm going into these committees that I never even wanted to show interest in whatsoever. I wanted to stay as far away from finance as I possibly could just because of the fact that I don't want to deal with the money. I don't want to be responsible. I don't want that responsibility. But somebody dragged me into it. He's not over here right now.
Who are you looking for? Oh, go ahead, sorry.
It was a joke.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't catch it. My bad.
But yeah, that's one of the other reasons why we want to start an inter-occupy committee. That way, it's not just one or two people having to do these multiple conference calls, and then we can have somebody moderate a conference call, and then we can possibly do events talking about. Because I really like that idea where we can have like an events conference call Tuesday and Thursday or on a Saturday night or something like that, to where people are at home, if they're driving home from work or something, hopefully they have it. I don't promote using your cell phone while driving.
At least not on the record.
Yeah, considering I'm on the record, I gotta put that out there. But yeah, because then anybody could put their input in and it would all be moderated. Yes.
I first had a clarification, but I'll tie it into my point of information. So I think you two both addressed the equally important things about this. The actions getting back on track and the fact that people won't come and help until this is addressed. So what we need to do, my clarification is suggestions from both of you, but you kind of addressed yours. You're going to just start getting into it. But Mike, what do you suggest as far as getting those people back here? What do you think we should do to address the John Kimmy debacle?
Well, again, I've heard a lot of really negative stuff over the last over the last week, especially over the last couple of days, and I think that we need to start providing people a real alternative to what they have now. The reason why Occupy became the national for lack of a better word, sensation that it became overnight was because of the disenfranchisement of the general public. We need to offer them a place to go. And you know what they see right now? They don't see Occupy as a place to go. They see Occupy as a place that has FTP marches. That's what they see Occupy as now. That's never going to attract the people away from the Democratic Party. That's never going to attract the people from the Communist Party. That's never going to attract the people from the Socialist Party. That's never going to attract the Green Party. That's not going to attract any party except for vandals. That's who that's going to attract. And if that's what we want to become, then I'm out. We need to stay on message, promote that message that rang true with the American public.
Maybe we should implement rallies in support of the police department, like I Think the Police March. It just came to me while I was standing right here listening to you guys talk. And because I know Saturday when we were marching, I was telling them our route because they were doing such a good job blocking the traffic.
Yeah, no, I was telling them thank you too, and they seemed
Yeah, so I
really
think maybe a
appreciative
good
of
solution to that would be to do a Think the Police March or Think the Police Action. Just
I think it would throw off the cops too.
And have signs saying specifically why we think them.
But then again, that pulls our battle or our focus is not about the police. It's about Wall Street. It's about 1%. It's about the people who are controlling our government. Yesterday, Cynthia and myself, we went to the Democratic convention and we presented one of the worst.
Rubber chicken.
Yes, we presented him with a rubber chicken for being completely spineless and being one of the two Democrats.
Seriously?
Yes, who voted against or just plain didn't vote for universal health care. We could have universal health care here in California if this guy would have just voted for it. But why didn't he? Because he's in the pocket of the insurance company and he's taken $200,000 from the insurance company, so he just didn't vote. Okay, Juan Vargas.
Oh,
Right? So that's what Occupy does well. That's what attracts the masses. When we put out the message, look, this guy accepted $200,000 from the insurance company, and he is the reason, the Democrat, he is the reason that we don't have universal health care. That's our message. That's what attracts people.
Yes.
So, as a suggestion, you're saying that we should completely
Stay on message.
and that ties into what you're saying, but we need more specific acts like what you guys did. Go ahead.
Provide a real alternative.
Point of information.
Yeah.
Yeah,
non-OST sanctioned or
It was
approved.
intended to, but we got.
No, I just have to point that out and add that in there.
Yeah, but let me.
that wasn't the point.
But the people and the message and the police.
No, I know. That's what everybody saw was occupiers
Exactly.
having a march.
And they can still have it, but if our actions overshadowed those, then there wouldn't be an issue.
We need to have,
But we don't.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, for
we
every
need to
one
have
of
something at the exact same time as them.
for every one of those things that happen, it takes us months to repair that damage. Months and months, and we've only got 3 months in. We've only got 4 months in.
Don't bring it out.
Or
Right?
thank you very much. It's like
You know? Exactly.
7.
That is what's going to bring us more people, and that's what's going to bring back. It's not so much. We don't even need more people. We need just to bring back the people that we had.
I have a point of information. I have something else coming up. What was that? 5 minutes. Daryl Issa.
Yes.
Mic check.
My check.
5 minutes left.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Daryl Issa. He's the congressman from Vista.
Yeah.
That basically threw the hammer down on Washington, D.C.
Threw the hammer down.
On their encampment. He's the one that pushed through Congress for their encampment to get shut down. And if I'm not mistaken, some of ours. Or at least I'm sure he had influence on the fact of the occupations getting shut down.
That's what we need. Direct action, literally.
Daryl Issa.
Daryl Issa.
So,
Congressman.
we still got a little time to talk.
So I have some things in the works that I'm planning for that. Fresno contacted me about wanting to do something in solidarity with that action, and so did Washington, D.C. They're the ones that contacted me about wanting to do something because of the fact that he is so close to us.
Yes.
So we are being reached out to from Washington, D.C. to do something against this guy.
That's where
So-
Occupy shines in doing things like that.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking a giant tent of dreams.
And that's
where an
Right.
Inter-Occupy would shine with the North
PVC
County
pipes with a
groups.
giant tarp around it. If I can make it movable, have everybody in tents.
If I
underneath
may, I think we should actually try to encourage hearing from those who haven't spoken yet.
Oh,
Yes.
please.
Do you think you might want to add on to the conversation?
Step
Say it
up,
again?
step back.
Anything you want to add on to the conversation? Before?
No, thank you.
All right.
Let's see.
I'm enjoying it.
Awesome.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, we also need to get our own, like the people who are here now, like they're here, great. But like some of them, like for example, last night attended the FTP march. Me and Mike and I were sitting right there, and we're like, hey, well, we're going to the convention right now. Anybody, and people just want to stay here and rather have like an FTP march. So I was kind of like, why wouldn't you want to go to the convention, and why are you guys focusing on the place? So we need to get our own people interested in, getting with the politicians and stuff like that.
Definitely. Iris, anything you want to add? Would you like to add to the conversation?
Step up, step back.
Would you like to
speak
add
up.
to the conversation, Iris?
He's trying to scoot out of our circle now.
Use your words like a
Step
big
back.
boy. All right, he's just gonna step back. What about you?
Mr.
Like
Pepper?
No, I'm okay.
All right.
Too focused on focusing.
Got it. Any of you guys wanted to add on to the conversation before our time is up?
I can't imagine having anything to say that's been more pertinent and more well thought out than what you guys have already said.
That's fine. Jim? Just what? No worries. We're discussing how to get more people involved with the movement again, by the way, and committees particularly was a focus, but we kind of branched out and made it like the overall view. What? Stop. So if you have anything to say about that. All right, so who's going to speak for us? It doesn't really matter, but
I vote Leslie.
I will Leslie.
Damn it.
Go for it.
Anybody second that?
Second it.
Trying to frame mine.
Love you, Leslie.
Yeah.
See, this is a perfect example of
If
what
we
we're
had
talking
20
about.
more like you, Leslie, I swear we if we had 20 more like you.
Do we have a
That would
consensus
be
on Leslie's
scary.
suggestion to
Terrifying.
form an inter-Occupy committee?
Consensus from the group? Because we don't
Just
have
in-
to.
just in
No,
this
we
group.
already
We're gonna
have
have
formed
that.
it. We just need people to actually step up and
Oh, I thought you
volunteer
said-
for it.
Okay.
It made it sound like there wasn't.
I didn't know there was one either.
I'm
so-
sorry if it sounded that way. I've mentioned it before in GA and stuff.
Yeah. So
that we
okay.
did.
That answers that.
In that case, I stand corrected.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
All right. So,
All right. Good.
yeah, I think we did well.
And we got done early.
We're done before you guys.
We're done before you guys.
Where's our cookie?
Pick a moderator.
Cookies. We
They
did.
already
Oh,
did.
nice.
We got a cookie.
1 minute
Wait,
left.
So
so
where's my cookie?
You're welcome.
cookies?
No, I don't want
That's
it.
my own
These
work.
are Necco. These are authentic Necco.
Right.
You guys need 5 more?
Jason, I'm Byron.
Hold on a sec.
You guys need more time?
All right,
You guys want 20
Jason.
minutes?
Where's my brother?
5 more minutes on the clock.
5 more minutes, guys.
Well, these people are done. They've already gone hit. You know, I was actually looking around for a camcorder, so I'm not beating around my laptop so much. It's already been dropped like twice. Like, everything's so loud. It's kind of strange.
I don't have any.
Technology is allergic to.
What?
Technology is allergic to. It tries to escape.
Oh, but I have so much fun with it. This is my car. Like, you know, the newer cars have all these like feature comforts. I just have wires going everywhere too, kind of simulate the same thing. Wires and plugs and little power adapters, and all kinds of random crap going around.
My computer at work has so many wires all over the place. They're gonna
It's a big strawberry.
I'm an artist, but I'm not like, I don't have a face.
Nom, nom, nom.
That was mildly sexy.
Wow, thank you.
Are they an artist? What is the hardest part of my job?
Maybe what I should, maybe, yeah, I should prep my chair along. It's sitting in the back of my car. It's not like the police are going to hassle us for bringing a chair out here right now, are they?
ignore this.
Totally should have done that.
I see it every day. I ignore it.
I was just telling Lisa that they're out of season, so that means they're not local strawberries.
I have to figure out what are our most important goals, what are the three most important.
That's fine. Did you ask somebody not to?
No.
Okay, it's not a problem.
Just that who did it?
Somebody off the media team? I'm assuming.
One of the John County people.
Really? Because I thought it was this.
Nope.
And then I decide how we're going to approach that.
It's okay.
And we have to let some of the lesser
It's okay.
go.
Well, I mean, it's not an issue unless you ask them not to.
No,
do
it's
it.
not an issue. But
Okay.
just for point of information.
Timekeeper.
I almost got my
Yeah. That's why I immediately distrust anyone who opens a sentence. Yeah, occupy open word. Trust me. If you open a sentence, trust me. I immediately distrust.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And to be honest, if somebody says with all due respect, I know I'm about to be disrespected.
No, that's why. Don't be upset.
No offense, but
No offense, you're about to get offended.
To be honest with you, listen to this why.
I actually saw that, Dilbert, the comic strip, right? The girl in Dilbert walks up to Dilbert and she's like, I've realized something about our boss. That if you say with all due respect, you can say whatever you want. And he walks up with all due respect, your mustache makes you look like a raccoon's ass. And then the boss is like, well, that would be an insult and you would be fired, but you said with all due respect, so it's obviously not.
Right.
Exactly.
I wish it would. I should.
You're going to open with a joke.
Respect. You can trust me when I say.
Point of information.
Well, what is the purpose of Occupy? So we should be prepared. I mean, it's great that we're thinking about definitely work on materials, flyers, brochures, whatever it may be, press kit. We used to have all that stuff. It's sad that we so I think we should definitely have one. I like that forum, that group page, that website. We should just slowly start getting.
Is it live stream or is it
Just recording.
Oh, high recording. It's a really awesome strawberry.
Nice.
Oh.
I think maybe it was like that, or he was going to receive well because maybe they didn't want to hear nothing about Occupy. What? What's your feel about it? I didn't mean to insult you. You know I'm a guy.
No, I'm not insulting.
I'm brown, but
Look at the social economic status of the two communities. Barrio Logan is a lot more poverty level. They're more informed of the issues because the issues are affecting them a lot more. People of Hillcrest. People of Hillcrest have a couple of issues that we are focusing on. That I think is why it has more positive response to Barrio Logan. I think we have the same amount of response if we went to East County.
okay. So what if we went to? Do you think that we need to do like a targeted type of a thing? Like if we go to El Barrio Logo, we go with Spanish flyers. We're talking about only like their kind of issues, and then you go to Hillcrest and we talk about their kind of issues only. And then say like we talk about your issues, but we also talk about other parts of the community. Come in and see how we can all tie together.
No, I see that on my
I can be done.
And I also,
I actually do so for Will. The point of this is how do we get this group that's sitting here more involved in committees and Occupy? That's what was, in my opinion, the point of the discussion. Not how can we outreach better or how can we get more people in
When we
Occupy.
come to the conclusion about like how getting people in the community,
That's forward outreach committee.
I got some awesome.
Point is, how are we going to get an outreach committee started when one doesn't exist right now and people don't want to do it? How do we get people to do shit within Occupy? Do we force them? Do we ask them? I mean, what is the course we take to get people more involved?
Well, I've asked. I think I've asked everybody here to be more involved than not involved as much as possible. A little bit more. I think he has a good point where you're going to have people that just don't really want to do as much. So in order to get more people in here that want to do more, or to get these people to do more, you might have to bring some more people in to get new people to actually say, wow, yeah, I want to do it. Too. Because plus me and you, I mean, me, I'm burned. I have been working my ass out. You have been working your ass out. We're both overworked.
I got to see average in all my classes right now because I just don't have the fucking time.
Right. Yeah, the time, we got 166 hours in a week. That's it. That's all we have. I understand. In order for us to be able to go, and these people won't do things, we have to bring more people here.
What I hear when you say that is you don't want a leadershipless movement. That you want a leadershipless movement. That's
No,
what I hear.
I want more people to step up.
You want to bring more leaders into this movement that will help the other leaders.
Well, I think of it like I want to bring more people that want to sit down to and do it work. And hopefully
Hey, that group over there. You guys are getting 2 more minutes and then that's it. So start wrapping up.
There's things that you know and that you can teach me. There's things I know that I might be able to teach you. Okay? Right? Doesn't mean that you're leading me. You're showing me.
No, that's not what I mean by leader. What I mean by leader is people who get shit done in this movement, organize events.
As Alan is an elder, I'll look to him more so as a leader, mentor type of.
It's all great ideology.
Wait, but it's saying I want to gain from knowledge. I want to gain from what I know what I can do. He's going to be able to show me that.
Johnny,
we are going to have to be there for the next people to be able to come in so we can show them too.
Right, great. So now that the conversation's done, how do you get them to do shit? Because you just talked about ideological conversations.
Well, it's better than talking about where stuff is at.
Leading by example.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, just keep trying to gear us to the same point. If you don't have an answer, don't answer. How do we get people to join more committees?
You have an answer. He is doing his best.
No, I don't have an answer. I'd like to hear people come up with ideas.
Leading by example is all I've seen that really works well.
I don't see that working at all.
It works. I've seen it work. I've seen more people step up in the last month than did the first 3 months. So, and
more people leading by example in the first 3 months.
No, you've had a lot of people doing it. Now you've had a select few doing it, and we've had our numbers go down. So people really see, wow, they see you, and they're like, wow, he's getting shit done. Maybe I can help him. Hey, what do you need help with?
How often does that happen to you, Chris?
Oh, it actually does. I mean, a couple times a week, actually. A couple times a week, people. But now, do they come through when they say that? Then they don't come through with what I asked them to help with. Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
I mean, I jumped
So
in.
people do it. Yeah, people slowly and surely they do it.
I've been slaying so much.
I know. I agree. I don't know how to speed the process up. That's the only way that I've seen so far that works, and I would love to have a huge discussion, fucking hours on how to fix it. Yes, I really would, and how to what other routes we can take. I've been wrapping my brain on for a while too.
I know too many guys.
I feel just as passionate about this as you do. I really do.
I'm gonna go back to what you.
Hey guys, wrap it up. Time's up. Reconvene the GA.
No, you have to catch them. You have to catch them when they're totally unexpected. If you just sit and you're having conversations and you're talking, you know, and it's just whatever, fucking sky's blue, bam!
All right, so let's form the circle back up, guys.
Watch them fall with their tray.
All right, so let's go ahead and get the spokesperson for that big group back there first.
I ain't fucking doing this first.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I want their spokesperson.
Hey!
Hey, group back there. I need your spokesperson to come out and report back to the GA, please. Mic check! Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Derek's one down there.
Okay. All right, so Mike, you're gonna do it?
Yeah.
All right.
So we're giving a report basically what our group talked about was how to get more people to participate in the different committees so that people essentially who are on like committees like media and outreach are not burning themselves out. We were brainstorming for ideas. So if anyone else in the group has any ideas as to how we can get more people to participate in the committees, that'd be great. This is my own personal one. This is my one that came from the exact group. But one thing that I came up with was if we can like form some form of a list that has people's names on it and what committee they are a part of with their contact information, and if we can print them out just like flyers and then pass them out to the people within the Occupy movement so we can know who's on what committee and how to get in contact with them to stay up to date and to lend our participation in that area.
So does everybody from that group feel like their voice was heard? Right on. Let's go ahead and move to this group that met right here.
Okay, well, we discussed different tactics such as using conference calls or rotating the committee meetings to different times of the day or different days of the weeks, and also changing the locations instead of always being at Freedom Plaza or Children's Park. Maybe if most people are located out in East County, go out to East County and have a meeting out there. Also, maybe coordinate with some of the other Occupy groups around, like Occupy Chula Vista, Occupy North County, or some of those groups around the college campuses. And Occupy Your Corner can also help out with outreach at different events, because that's kind of what we do, go out and do corner occupations, one-on-one, face-to-face recruitment. And we have materials to hand out to people that explain what Occupy is all about. We have them on our website. Also, kind of, face-to-face recruitment for committees. Use the website instead of Facebook. Start posting the website and trying to direct people to the website instead of Facebook. Get that communication. Go to the website instead of Facebook. And try and join up with some of the college groups for their events to help them out, help promote Occupy on the college campuses. And that would have to be done through a sponsored college group. We couldn't just, because of college rules, just walk on campus and start going, hey! We'd probably get kicked out and not appreciate it too much.
So does everybody from this group feel like your voice has been heard? Right on. So let's move to the last group.
We discussed basically the same thing everybody did, or at least initially. One of the issues that we did kind of formulate was the fact that nobody really comes down or wants to get involved anymore. One of the issues that we kind of figured out is the fact that nobody really wants to come down or get involved anymore because of the fact that we've been really off of focus. We haven't been on focus for what Occupy is supposed to be. We've been focusing on other stuff like the cops, sidewalk chalk, that kind of stuff. So one of the things that we discussed was we need to start focusing our actions and events more on the banks and all that. We have a couple of things lined up, but once again, that falls back on to getting more people into the committees and everything. So if we get more people helping us on the committees, then we can get back on focus. Anything else? No.
You're good.
Okay, I'm trying to think if there's
Well, your thing about Interoccupy.
Oh yeah. Also the Interoccupy. We do technically have a committee for Interoccupy. We even have like an email lined up for Interoccupy and everything. It's just nobody stepped up for the committee. It's not that hard. You're on a phone call every so often for an hour to 2 hours. I mean, you can even have other conversations while you're doing that. You just have to hit 1 or 2 half the time on your phone. But it's really nice if we can get input from the other occupiers, because everybody from all over America and sometimes other countries are on these phone calls. Like, I have personally spoken with somebody from New Zealand on these phone calls, Australia. Everybody gets on these. And that way we can all try to work together. And even if we start just an inter-occupied group phone call, like a weekly phone call for events, for finance, for something like that, with the people that can't come to committees or possibly get online, can at least get on these phone calls and have their voices heard also. Because there's a lot of people that have really good ideas that just can't get down here. But at the same time, that's why we have been trying to have at least events every day, because we do understand that, you can't come down on a Thursday or a Saturday or something like that. So we've been at least trying to do that for you guys. But other than that, yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. But if anybody wants to help us with the Inter-Occupy Committee, that would be really awesome, because there's only like 2 people that are doing the phone calls, and I'm one of them. And a lot of the times the phone calls land at the same time. So I kind of end up having to prioritize a phone call, and it might be one that I need to be on both of them. And I have to go for the more important one. So, sorry.
I just had a point of information for our committee report. One other thing that we spoke about was that maybe we're spreading ourselves a little too thin, that maybe we're going off in too many different directions, which really makes it hard for the people that are deeply involved, like Leslie, on really planning things out. It just becomes too much, and then we have to maybe identify goals. What are our 3 most important goals? And really concentrate on that, rather than going off in 7 different directions and only doing a little bit or
Doc,
I know we got the whole point of love, but I don't know. Call me a dick after this. I feel like there's a point of bluntness that's needed. Is the real problem is that people commit to shit and then don't do it. I mean, I don't know how many people told me on Friday, or told us on Friday, that they'll be there at 5:30 in the morning at Balboa Park, or that they're going to help us clean up, or that they're going to help us throughout the day, and just weren't there, weren't contactable, didn't show up. And that really is the problem with our movement, is lack of actual accountability and commitment. We all say, yeah, no, I love that. We show up to one committee. Yeah, I'm a part of events. I've been there once this week. You're not fucking a part of events. You showed up to events. And that's what we're really lacking the difference of, is, are you in this for a paradigm shift? Which I don't think people understand what the fuck that means when they say it. Paradigm shift means completely revolutionizing everything about you do in life. It means getting out of our boxes. It means really committing to wanting to change shit and not being followers anymore. We keep saying we don't want leaders. You're liars. Plain and simple, because there's a shitload of leaders running around getting shit done. So, you really want to see this movement take off and really, really be effective? That means you really, really have to be effective and do a lot less talking and a lot more walking.
Mike?
Yeah, I just wanted to say this is something else that, I honestly feel like this is geared towards having us get more people out here. One thing that I noticed that we have not done as a group is we have not gone as a group as the Occupy San Diego that's getting kicked off of buses in Amarillo, Texas, that's going to Long Beach, that's always in the newspaper, and that has been all over TV. We have failed as a group to go to these colleges because we are the people who are in the news. And we have failed to go to the other occupations like Occupy SDSU, Occupy City College. We have failed as a group to go to these places. And one minute,
Go ahead.
because I'm stating, as a group, we have failed to do this. And I think that this is something that we should have done a long time ago, but we can still do it now. But we definitely have to go and let them know that, hey, we are Occupy San Diego, you are Occupy San Diego, and we support you, because this is something that we should have done. And for whatever reason, that has fallen to the wayside. But this is the core where people who was in the newspaper, Mike checking Jerry Brown and going to jail, and we haven't gone anywhere else to let them know that, hey, we know you're here, we care about you too, and we need you guys' help. We haven't done that, and we need to do that.
Okay, did you still have your point of clarification?
I think he might say it.
Okay, go ahead.
I got a point of clarification to exactly what Mike said. One reason some of us don't do that is we get vilified for doing that. Somehow we get accused of being media whores or being in front of the camera too much, or you shouldn't speak so much. When we go out and we promote things, when we go out and we tell people what we've been doing, oh, you're in front way too much. You got to step back. That's one of the reasons why that doesn't happen. But those of us who do it, and I've done it, and I get accused all the time of saying, you're in front of the camera too much. You're just a media whore. Well, you know what? Some of us have got to take the responsibility on our back for going out and promoting Occupy San Diego, and then we get killed for doing it from our own group.
I don't think you'll need it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I think you're really sexy media.
Okay. So, go ahead.
Yeah, something I want to say is when we go out on outreach, like to some of these places, because I do go to the City College GA and I do go to Ocupamos and Barrio and stuff, is I don't go over there and tell them what we need from them. I go over there and ask them what they need from us. And that's really important, because if you're not going to support them, why in the heck should they even consider us? You know what I mean? We have to support them first. We have to be in solidarity with them first. Why? Because they are in in these little communities, and that's where our strengths lie. The strengths lie out there. We already know what we're about. They already know what we're about because they're watching us all the time to a degree. You know what I mean? We have to learn them, and they will give us that mutual respect. They will come. I've talked to them on that level, and it's really important. And when you do get in front of a camera, make sure you know who is sponsoring those events, because sometimes we get caught up in things we're not supposed to be caught up in. So let's just be careful about that one. But yeah, let's go ask them what they need from us, and let's give them that support.
What are we not supposed to be caught up?
What was that?
What are we not supposed to be
Well, sometimes it's like we're supporting a political platform without understanding we are, and we already spoke on that level. You know what I mean? Make sure we know where we stand in.
Right on. So, before we move on to personal announcements, I would just like to say, I forgot what I was going to say. It was extremely relevant, too. This is what happens when you're costly. Oh, I know what it was. Moderator hat off, because I'm not allowed to have an opinion as a moderator. But it is my personal opinion and belief that every person should be promoting Occupy, whether it be Occupy San Diego, Occupy Wall Street, Occupy wherever. Everybody should be representing and trying to promote Occupy as much as possible. That you can do from home. Like, you don't have to do it as an official OSD whatever, but you can definitely be like, hey, this is what's going on in the Occupy movement. Hey, did you see this article about Occupy Wall Street, or this article about the riots in Greece, or so on and so forth. So everybody should be pushing these ideas and concepts about what Occupy is and what Occupy is doing, so that the people get the real information and not the garbled image that they're getting from the media. All right, so moderator hat back on. We're going to move right on to personal announcements, and then we'll pick the moderator for tomorrow.
I got something else. This is something I want to see. If somebody don't do it, I'm going to have to do it. I would like to see us have like a YouTube, like press release, like a person, you know what I mean, from like Occupy on like a little YouTube stream, giving some type of a message, sending something out there, you know what I mean? Something, I mean, it's there, we can utilize it. Anonymous does it, we need to start following certain scripts, man, because they work.
Okay, wait a minute. That particular idea sounds like you should be getting with the media committee, because I know that they are more than welcome and open to any and every idea concerning how the media or how Occupy San Diego is represented through different media outlets. So my recommendation would be to go to the next media working group or media committee working group, whatever they're calling their group now, and present that idea there, because I know that they've been talking about getting the facilities to do something like that. Does anybody know when they meet next?
I do not know when we meet next. We haven't discussed it yet.
Okay.
Will is the.
You have a clarifying question.
Yeah. So is that like a mascot kind of thing you're talking
When's the
about?
next meeting committee?
We don't know yet.
Yeah,
I just said that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, I love the idea.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead, sir.
Personal announcements.
Yeah, actually, we're gonna go to personal announcements. No. What was that?
I actually have a proposal.
Whoa.
That should have came out of crowdstorming.
Yeah, there's no 24-hour rule, so
It still should have came out of crowdstorming.
We'll hear then. Let's hear it.
Wait, hold on. Sir, go ahead. Go.
So, I think I know most of you. My name's Damien. I've been here since the beginning, since mid-September when we first started. We actually met over there in that circle, but that's all right that you're over here.
Damien's a good guy.
Look, I'm leaving you. Come tomorrow, I'm going to San Jose. You know, I was very active in the first couple months, and I pulled away. I've taken some hits, and you know, as a result, had to regroup and relocate my family. I'm the union guy, right? That's, some of you kept saying this. He's a union guy. I've also been known as the control freak, co-opter, arrogant asshole. All my motives have been scrutinized, as well as everyone's have been scrutinized. And I do want to say that's a good thing. I think we should all welcome some scrutiny. Okay, this is not about hurt feelings or I'm not appreciated enough. You know, if you're doing this to get a level of appreciation from other people, then you're not going to last. This is not going to go on much further. You got to do this for something else inside of you. You know, I love each and every one of you. I love the idea of you, and I love the collection of you. I went up to San Jose's GA. It is not this diverse. Okay? You have so many different people, so many different points of view, so many different lifestyles and viewpoints. That is the thing that I haven't seen in 20 years of activism, ever. Never saw it, ever. Everybody had their own camps. Fucking sectarian, fucking identity politics, fucking union, non-union, whatever it was, right? That was the only thing that was unique about this group. You know, I even love the scammers and the disruptors. I love the hell out of those fuckers, because one day I'm going to flip them. Right? You know, I'm gonna miss each one of you, okay? You know, and this is a big step for me to say a whole lot because I'm a tip of the iceberg kind of guy, man. My personal life is very deeply hidden, and it's nobody's fucking business. That's just how I roll. But and a few of you, I think, know what's going on. I've heard certain rumors coming back to me about what's going on. You know, I'm just going to simply say I risked a 16-year career with a wife and kid and stuck my neck out for this movement, and it got bit. But that's okay. I'm going to be okay. Every one of us is risking something. Everybody, and some of us have more to risk than others, and that's okay. Some of us have to do that. Some of us have to risk more because we can risk more, right? Some of us have to be the fucking rodeo clown and call the bull attention to them so that it leaves those who need to get the hell out of the way from the cops or from their record or from whatever else is going to come at them, right? So those who can do need to step up and do more, do need to step up and take the hits. You know, look, if you can be a public figure while others can't, then fucking do it, right? If you're not that shy away from bankruptcy and being homeless, then fucking stick your neck out there, because I've seen the homeless sticking their neck out every fucking day, right? And I'm sorry, I'm using a lot of F words, but hey. Look, I'm leaving you, but I'm not leaving this fight. I'm definitely gonna, I've actually found a union that wants me to be involved in Occupy. So, you can all have, and I have all my issues with the union movement and whatnot, but whatever. It's a better fit. I don't have to force it. I'm just going to say, keep fighting, struggling together. Socialists, homeless, Democrats, anarchists, feminists. The whole magic of this thing is that all of you are fucking meeting here and getting it done. So don't use any of those associations as a reason to try to split this group. Use actions. If somebody is bad, you call them out for what the fuck they do, not who they claim to be or who they hang out with, right? It's just a simple, basic fact. Because if we go back to sectarian and identity politics and issue-based, activism, we're fucking dead. We've seen what's happened with that. We're dead. We're dead. If we don't collect up our people, our resources, we are outgunned. Outgunned by money and real guns. We need the people who can do great speeches. We need fucking media whores. We need the people who will remind us that the excess that we're hanging on to is not so scary to lose. We need the homeless to say, hey, really? You're not going to recycle that cup and get a refill? Right? We need the people to make you think if your fucking gender role is something that is you in your own skin or a trap that you've been living your entire life. We need the angry kids who just can't control their anger. We need the techies who want to sit behind a computer screen and start moving things along. We need somebody, when you're frustrated, and it ain't me, who's going to grab your hand, look you in the eye, and say, really, how you feeling? Right? We need all of those things, and we're never going to be every single one of those things. So you drive any one of those out, you're falling, you're failing. Please, don't do that. More than anything, we need organizers. You don't speak of community organizing. We need community organizing. You gotta fucking go door to door. You gotta talk to people in neighborhoods. We are no longer in the position to be just a demonstration, a visible symbol. We need to go out and tell people, hey, help has arrived. We're here. You want to work together. We need to actually do that. We need to grow our numbers because we're that's enough of that. No. More. No. Look, but I do want to acknowledge we're in a difficult position. We need to protect one another. I'm not going to rehash what happened, but what happened needed to happen. Not the result, but that process. We've lived for 4 months with no fucking accountability for anything. None. And we knew shit was going down that was bad, and I've looked the other way on a lot of stuff. I've seen members, active members, try to set up our own fucking occupiers, right? I've seen a lot of dirty shit. I've seen a lot of people who fucked up the office that we rented that was right around the corner from Civic Center, okay? Now, we didn't have a trial, no kangaroo court, but at some point, someone needs to know that there would be some accountability when they start screwing with what we're trying to do here. My personal feeling, and whatever. I don't need to lay out the facts. We're infiltrated. We're being sabotaged. We have people whose deliberate purpose to be here is to screw us up. And for me, and I know other people have other opinions, we are not being co-opted. We're being destroyed. It's deliberate. So I can't tell you that it's easy to figure out what to do in that situation, but I can say that we both need to bring in a hell of a lot more and not kick out, but we also need to protect each other. We need to look to the fact that people are either here to screw us up, hook us up with some criminal records, or to just divide our entire internal process. Those people are here. Don't fool yourself. Don't think they're not. They are here. I promise to always be a resource. I'm sorry, I'm almost done. I'm sorry, I'm monopolized. I promise to always be a resource. Some of you have my permanent number. I'm not trying to be insulting, but there are way more resources and allies and groups out there than you realize. You don't have access to them, and partly it's because you have not been careful with your own relationships with them. They have seen what happens when they give and get their hands slapped. Relationships are like plants. You gotta plant the seed, you gotta water it, you gotta let it grow, and don't beat the shit out of it while it's growing. You need relationships. There are people who want you and need you to succeed. If you call that co-option, this is not getting off the ground. You can't be co-opted because they can't tell you what to think. You're here. If you don't believe everything else they're selling, don't fucking buy it. But they need you to succeed. They need you to move this fucking thing because we're fighting a battle of ideas. We don't have guns or fucking artillery. It's a battle of ideas. And look at what we've got in the little resources we had, and we've moved the entire country's ideas with this. With this. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. You've witnessed a miracle, and if you can't accept that, then you got to step back a little bit and think about it's not just about moving one resource from point A to point B or getting flyers over here. Stepping back, we have changed the conversation in this country. It's not enough. We got to keep pushing. All right, just be good to each other, please. Don't enslave yourselves to any dogma or process or ideology. Try it. If it don't work, change it. Okay? We don't need to be slaves to the things that we create. They're there to serve us. And when they don't serve us, we fix them. We change them. We're not the only hope in this world. So take that stress off your shoulders. If this don't fly, people are still going to be fighting. They've been fighting. People have been fighting this the entire time. We're just the best hope that's come along in a long while. And it is something, and I just want you all to care for it and watch it grow. I just want you all to love each other and even love the fucking scammers. Love the people that are here to kind of disrupt the process. Love the people who disrupt the process just because they know no other way to get their voice heard. That's the only way we're going to last. This is a really tough thing to do, and I don't envy those of you that have been doing this for 4 months straight, because honestly, I only did it the first 2 months. I've been very hands-off in the last 2. So I love you all. I'm going to miss all of you, and I'm going to be there watching you guys at least through cyberspace, and take care, everybody.
Thank you, Damien.
Thank you, Damien.
Love you, Damien.
Okay.
Whip San Jose into shape.
Let's go ahead and start the stack for personal announcements. Okay. What was that? Well, is it your proposal? Then do it during personal announcements.
That wouldn't be a proposal, would it be an announcement?
Well,
our time for proposals passed.
Yes, essentially, I called personal.
There really is no process till tomorrow. There's no 24-hour rule. What's the harm in hearing something? It's only like 8:20, guys. You in a rush or something?
Actually, yes.
All right, then fuck it. We'll get nothing done. Cool.
Well, that's an individual speaking. I want to hear your proposal.
What's wrong with hearing it? We can always.
Well, maybe let me moderate. That's why I chose to moderate, so I could moderate. So let me do that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do a temperature check on hearing Doc's proposal. After the temperature check, if we choose to hear the proposal, we'll do the proposal. After that, we'll get back to personal announcements. So let's temperature check all who want to hear Doc's proposal. Okay, those who don't want to hear it. Fair enough. What's your proposal?
I really think that we should actually make an effort and a day to set aside next week where we go to Chula Vista or National City or Barrio Logan and literally beautify the place and then have a GA there.
What day?
You can decide that. It's like Thursday, Friday.
The proposal is half of the change.
Really? There's a process saying I have to have all that?
Okay, so the proposal is that sometime next week we go to
Barrio, Logan, National City, whatever makes anybody feel.
We go to one of the other Occupy locations, clean the park, make it pretty.
I'm not even talking about an Occupy location.
Go to one of the other areas, go somewhere, do community outreach, clean a park, do some positive outreach. That's the proposal. Are there any concerns with that proposal?
We need or clarification. We need to check with Occupy El Barrio, Gerardo probably specifically. He was thinking about getting a like a picnic kind of thing there on Saturday with the same idea of outreach and like that. You might want to check with him first before we do something, in two different directions doing the same. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And this is a great idea. I know that there are a number of people who are not here because they worked themselves to death yesterday and the day before, and they would probably want to be a part of this. We're having a big GA tomorrow night. I would suggest that we retain the 24-hour rule just so we can include them tomorrow.
I'm going to point and process this. We've already decided that we're dispensing with the 24-hour rule until tomorrow.
Then forget the 24-hour rule, but let's put this on the agenda for tomorrow.
No,
It's on the agenda. I'll amend my own proposal. I kind of want to just get this out there before we start talking about all the process tomorrow, because it's going to get lost. There's no way it's coming out.
So let's make it number one on the
So
agenda.
all I really want to say is, how about 1 to 3 people get with me on this, and we really organize it. So, I don't know who those 1 to 3 people might want to be. But
Would you mind people getting with you after GA?
Yeah.
So if you want to work on that with Doc and Chris, get with them after GA, and they'll work out something.
Irish will go with us.
There's still a proposal on the table. Why don't we
I saw
No,
a
he
table.
just
withdrew it?
This is why we pay attention, so we know what's going on.
All right, guys.
Chirac,
As
your
you
hand
said
is up?
earlier, Ben.
Is that a personal announcement?
Yeah.
Okay,
I have a
so
personal.
let's go ahead and open personal announcement stack. It's Chirac's hand
Will.
been up for almost 15 minutes straight. So I'm going to give him preference.
I'll take
And
Stack.
then-
I got Stack.
You got Stack? It's Jaleesa, Mike Garcia, and then Alan. Oh, wait, maybe not. Maybe he's in.
There is an occupier here that's worked really hard. He's molded the finance committee. He's pretty much been molding the media committee. And today is his birthday. It's William Johnson.
All right. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear William. Happy birthday to you. Group hug around William. Alright, so how many years?
23.
23 punches, everyone. 23 free punches and
Non-violent
1
movement.
for good
Block
luck.
again!
23
Block
bong hits.
again! Get him!
All right, so
Next.
who's next on the stack?
This is gonna hurt me more than hurt
Mike, check.
Mike, check!
Next on stack.
Next on stack.
Depends on how it is.
Next on
Next on
stack.
stick.
Next on stack.
Dog.
Doc.
So Lisa.
Oh.
And then you just.
So, similarly to Damien's personal announcement, I too am leaving, sorta.
What?
But I'm giving 4 weeks notice. It was initially a family thing to go to Houston, Texas on March 6th, but I discovered that Occupy Houston does need some help out there, so I'm going to help with them for a month. And after that, I hope to see you guys at DC for a month, and after that, I'll be back. So I'll be gone for 2 months, but doing Occupy-related things, and I want to address this to Leslie specifically. Where is she?
I'm right here.
Okay. Considering I love San Diego and it's my primary occupy, I would like to volunteer myself as one of the main interact people for phone calls. Just send me the information and I'll do the hour-long whatever conversation so people can focus on actually here.
Definitely.
Okay, so
Awesome.
I yield.
Next on stack.
I just wanted to say I'm really proud of how yesterday turned out. Everybody really pulled together and made something beautiful for the other occupations to come join us yesterday. It's poetic. I don't know. It's pretty great. Thank you for coming down and supporting and staying and just being awesome. Hey,
Woo!
Mike G.
All right. It also kind of goes along a little bit with what Damien had to say. Unfortunately, I do have to rehash a little bit of what went down a few nights ago. I wrote an open letter on Facebook, and I realize a lot of you here don't have opportunity to go to Facebook. And so I would like for those who are here, who have contact with other people, who also do not have availability to the internet or don't like Facebook for one reason or another, to pass this message on to them. This is an open letter to address your concerns and feelings in regarding the no confidence proposal, what happened before, during, and after. Before, I have had my run-ins with John Kenny. I have worked with him on several committees. As you know, he has been here since the beginning, and I have noticed his behavior becoming increasingly bizarre over the last few months. As someone who is studying in the mental health profession, I observe people and their behavior. I am quite comfortable in stating that he, especially since his hunger strike, has changed. So, I am not surprised that he has been caught doing something like recording people off-site. He is exhibiting signs of mental illness. But is he the only one who exhibits signs of mental illness in Occupy San Diego?
Look what I can do.
I second that.
I volunteer.
During. I work on the finance committee, and at one time John was a regular attendant there. He has tried to dominate and control that committee the same way he has tried to dominate in other committees. The regular attendees, including Pat, others, and myself, would not allow that to happen. The result is he very rarely attends finance meetings. We notice when he does. His actions are heavily scrutinized there. As far as finance goes, and it is one of our strongest committees, there is no John Kenny problem. I heard about the no confidence proposal and I was fine with it. When I heard that Gonzo told the GA he observed John filming outside of his home, I was as appalled as anyone else. I was in favor of confronting him and sending a notice to Occupy everywhere of his bizarre and possible dangerous behavior. If that had been the proposal, I would have approved it with my hands held high, twinkle fingers. But that was not the proposal. I was pretty tired. After City Council on Tuesday, I wanted a break. I did not plan to come to the Civic Center on Wednesday. I had read in the UT that morning about the soapbox rally downtown and thought I should go in light of what I told our fine City Council. Earlier that day, I got a call from Doc. He told me that GA was blowing up and he wanted me to attend. I said I would. So that's how my day fell together. I did not have any idea that the John Kenny agenda item had been raging for as long as it had. When the moderator read the proposal, it was the first time I heard it. Why has this gone on so long, is what I thought to myself. Is this the first mentally unstable individual we have dealt with at Freedom Plaza? No. In fact, we have become pretty good at dealing with a wide variety of behavioral problems and illnesses. So I listened to the proposal. I was shocked at its content. This is what I heard. Because you go outside of process, because you have been seen video recording an occupier's home, because you have been suspected of misappropriation of Occupy San Diego funds, don't come here. If you come here, do nothing. You get bread and water if we have some to spare. Furthermore, we will restore your rights when you prove yourself worthy. Really? Is that what you came up with after a week? Yeah, I blocked that. And I would stand up and I'd block it again. Not because I think John Kenny is not guilty of what he's accused of. I think he's guilty of what he's accused of. But I thought this. I go outside GA process. Remember tiny tents? Not approved by GA. I sit on the finance committee. I could be accused of misappropriating funds. And I have taken video of everyone and everything since I started here October 2nd. This is way too close to home. I block. You know I've been to dozens of GA meetings. I rarely block. As I sit here and write this letter, I cannot think of one GA where I have blocked such a proposal that I agree with. And I also make the point that a hard block is something that you feel so strongly about, you will leave the movement if it passes. Over a 3-day period, several hardworking, dedicated members blocked that proposal. Well, we all witnessed what happened. I stood there to take whatever was coming. It was pretty ugly. In court, they call this jury nullification. When you let a guilty person go free because the law is bad, the victims are understandably hurt. I was hurt too. I have put my freedom on the line for Occupy Wall Street and Occupy San Diego. Many of you know I was free on $10,000 bail, facing 3 to 5 years in prison when I chose to go to D.C. instead of my arraignment. I have said in GA, somebody is going to die for this movement before it's all over. If it's me, so be it. I know many of you who were hurt feel the same, and I am proud to know you. So as we move forward, I have a few thoughts. One is the identified patient. There is a feeling amongst family members who have a member who is suffering from addiction. It's called the identified patient. The thinking is that if the addict will just stop the behavior, everything will be okay. Well, that's just not the case, because addiction is a family disease. Unless the family gets the help it needs with its problem, the problem is likely to continue. And this is the case with the OSD family. So we get rid of John Kenny. But the problem still exists. We saw it the next night in GA. I don't have the answers. I rely on the wisdom of this group to figure it out. As for the question of what is Occupy San Diego, or who is Occupy San Diego, this is the part of the movement that I hate. I have the official site. I am the official this. We are the official that. This is the official place. You people just don't get it. Occupy is an idea. Nobody has ownership of it. As far as I'm concerned, It is a group of control freaks, that's not a clinical term, who took over, including John Kenny, and many of those people are still passing proposals in the GA today. And these proposals exclude us from our motto, we are the 99%. In the first days of October, we were all welcome, including Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Tea Party, Green Party, Socialists, anarchists, artists, mentally ill, those without a home, unions, churches, so on and so on. Well, look at us now. I say wherever two people meet to fight for social and economic justice, that is official Occupy. As for my relationship with Cynthia, it's none of your business. I've heard plenty on the internet about that. And if that's the kind of gossip you enjoy, buy yourself a supermarket tabloid. I have a tremendous respect for everyone who has respect for the process and has respect for our motto, we are the 99%. I suggest we get back to that. Thank you.
Okay, personal announcements.
Right here. Bill. I went the whole day without hearing about John. Tomorrow I'm going to be occupying the courthouse. That's going to have nothing to do with anything here. But I could use flyers and a tent at the federal courthouse tomorrow morning about 10 o'clock. So.
What's the purpose?
The purpose is the 3 branches of government. See if the third one's still working. They want it.
What?
The 3 branches of government. I spent 9 days in jail. I have yet to see a judge. So I'll go to the federal courthouse and due to extenuating circumstances, I would have to see a judge if they arrest me. So I have to get a hearing on whether I have a right to speak or not. So.
Next on stack?
No.
There's nobody left on stack.
I have a personal announcement. Okay.
Go ahead.
Look what I can do.
Oh, you're so pretty. All right. So what we need to do for tomorrow, and I would like to remind everybody, tomorrow we're supposed to be hashing out our process as per the proposal passed a couple days ago. So what we need is somebody who can moderate impartially and unbiasedly, and who feels like they can put up with the drama that is going to befall them tomorrow.
Can I make Chris?
Can I make a request to show up for finance 4 o'clock tomorrow?
It's already, we've been saying that consistently.
I personally like the moderate stuff. I don't know.
Okay, so Doug wants to do it. I heard a nomination for Chris as well.
Anybody not over.
Okay. We need a second for somebody.
I like Doc.
Yeah.
All right, so is everybody okay with Doc moderating tomorrow?
I will say I've never done it.
You've never, okay.
I've never moderated.
How do people feel about Chris moderating tomorrow?
I second it.
All right. I just for fairness, Chris has never moderated.
I never wanted to. I want to for tomorrow because I want to.
I'm pretty sure he's been here long enough to know.
Second on Chris. We're gonna have it here and
We're having it here.
He'll be here again. Yes. 7 o'clock. Yes. All right. So 7 o'clock tomorrow. Be prepared to stay late. I am telling you right now, it is going to be a long GA tomorrow. So
Till midnight. You gotta get out of the park. At
yeah.
midnight.
So at the very least, it's going till midnight.
Actually, we slept here last night. No problem.
Right on. Right on. All right. So let's go ahead and adjourn. Yeah.
All right. Are we gonna sing anything?
No. Started chanting and singing. My voice is.
All right. Sounds good to me.
It's like guys just trying to like.
All right. Blessed